Interestingly, over the last few months, we assumed that Antoine Griezmann maybe could be heading to the States or could be moving away from Atletico Madrid. Yet it was confirmed that he signed a one-year extension with Atleti in there till 2027. Luis is still with us. Luis, considering how he was utilised in those last couple of months at Atleti, which wasn't like a superstar, wasn't necessarily like a man who was going to get a new contract, this is a bit of a surprise, isn't it?
I'm not going to tell you the reason, Dan, because definitely after what we've seen this year with Antoine Griezmann, he started very well the season. Atletico Madrid was grateful to that because it was him, the one who was scoring, assisting and leading the team up front. But in the last part, we saw that he wasn't the same player. He wasn't sharp, he looked tired, he looked out of position. Of course, it's true that the Atletico Madrid in the whole he was struggling to get the results and to get a rhythm on the competition. So I was surprised a little bit. I thought that he was maybe thinking about moving on. And we all know that he's also a big fan of NFL, so he will be closer to that game too. First of all, as a mentor for the youngster, and second of all, because of his quality and talent. So yeah, surprisingly, but not so much because, he's a very important player for Atletico Madrid.
I think when you're 34, you have to consider other things, not only the football, other things for the family, the daughters for Antoine. Maybe the life that he has in Madrid suits him well, and if he could find an agreement for one more year, I think because he thought it through and because the club also realized that they needed him. I mean, he's been crucial to Atletico Madrid. He came back.
No doubt about it. But last 6 months, he was pretty anonymous.
Yeah, but
from this side. So is it more, as Luis says, a leadership mentor kind of role? And can you see that within him?
Maybe with he had some talks with Simeone. Maybe Simeone asked him to be in the dressing room, the leader that you're talking about, and help the team when they will need him. I mean, he's been a fantastic player for Atletico Madrid. He left for Barcelona and he was average.
Yes,
and
I know he's been
came
good.
back. But he's important to the club, to the fans, and I'm pretty sure to the dressing room and the players, and they still need him. They wouldn't have signed him just for the pleasure of it, because he's going to be useful for sure, because of his talent, his experience, and he knows the house, and he's going to show the good way to the other players.
I think the reason as to why the second half of the season was so impressively bad for Antoine Griezmann is because if you contrast it to the first half of the season, he was Atletico Madrid's best player. True. Early on in the season, he was their best player.
As he was the season before.
Yes.
It's true.
And so what was obvious to see is that what Simeone has been asking him to do over many years now it's taking a toll. And so you cannot demand from Antoine Griezmann consistently to be a guy who's a presence in the attack, who's a creative source, but also is chasing people around in defensive positions. So if you're keeping Antoine Griezmann, you're extending this contract until 2027, it's because either you're going to limit his minutes and utilize him in specific games for specific moments, or when he's on the field, and you're going to have him consistently on the field, his role has to be different. He has to be a guy that you allow him the freedom to go and find the game however he sees fit, and then everybody else around him will have to cover some of that space. Is Diego Simeone willing to do that? The answer to that is clearly no. He's never done it for anybody, and I don't think he's going to do it for Antoine Griezmann. And so therefore it tells me that his role will change in terms of the minutes and the importance of the minutes that he's going to play for this team.
So Griezmann staying at Atletico Madrid. What about Ter Stegen at Barcelona? Quite the old soap opera seems to be stirring up around his future and whether or not he'll be at Barca at the start of next season.
I will stay in Barcelona.
I'll stay in Barcelona.
Your Spanish is getting better.
Well, what's interesting is I was getting completely different translation in my ear, which I have no idea where that's from.
Okay, what were they telling you?
I'm going to go. Don't mess with Ter Stegen.
What?
On his future, he said, am I affected by the rumours that the club wants to sell me? No one has told me about this, so I don't know the situation. I'm not worried. I know that I will be at Barcelona next year. I haven't spoken to Hansi and there hasn't been any contact in the last few days. I don't see any reason for that at the moment. No event has occurred that justifies the conversation. What's going on, Luis?
Rumors. I think there is always rumors at the end of the season. Last year there were a lot of speculation about not having a second keeper. It was Iñaki Peña, the one who has to get involved because of his injury. And now everybody wants to know what is going to happen, because it looks like Iñaki Peña, he wasn't going to continue. He's going to try to find somewhere else to be a keeper. Chesney introduction was actually better than we thought. He struggled a little bit in the first few games, but right after it was really, really impressive in the last part of the season. But Ter Stegen was going to be always the number one. So that means that he's got a lot of room to improve. And next to Ter Stegen, I think that it could be a fantastic option. Ter Stegen is not getting any younger, so in the next coming 2-3 years, maybe we could see Joan Garcia as the number one keeper for Barcelona.
Who'd you pick, Ali?
Well, Ter Stegen right now, but this seems to me such an easy solution for Barcelona. There are a couple options here that are very straightforward, very clear to me. Wojciech Szczesny wanted to be on the beach. He was physically on the beach smoking his cigarettes. So let him go to the beach and smoke his cigarettes.
We're hearing cigar.
All right, sorry, my bad.
He's rich.
I'm sorry. My bad, Szczesny. So allow him to do that. And then you bring in Joan Garcia, and he'll be number 2 Ter Stegen, and you have a competition in which you push Ter Stegen, because if we're objective, Ter Stegen, even before his injury, was not at his very best with Barcelona. Regardless, he remains the number 1. The other solution is, if you want to keep Szczesny, for whatever reason, okay, Ter Stegen is your number 1, Szczesny is your number 2, you bring in Joan Garcia, and you loan him right back to Espanyol, where he's getting games, and he's getting repetition, and he's going to get a lot of action because Espanyol allow a lot of chances. And so he'll be getting his minute, preparing to take over Ter Stegen eventually. Those things seem to be very straightforward to me, but apparently not.
I don't believe that's true. That's just a rumor, from, as Luis said. When you have a German coach with a captain German goalkeeper, I think if he has just a thought about getting another coach, he would say to Ter Stegen, leave.
Yeah.
I want to tell you, leave. He wouldn't. He said he didn't talk to Hansi Flick. They would have said something. I think Hansi Flick would have come to him and said, you know what, it's time for you to go. I think the club wants to get another goalkeeper, and I cannot say no, and I think it would be a good thing. So because of the same nationality, the partnership that they have, I think Hansi Flick would have talked to Ter Stegen.
One last thing, Luis. Look, when you were sat there in the VIP seats, drinking champagne and eating caviar, at what stage with your Barcelona hat on did you think, how did we concede so many goals to this Inter side, and how did we get knocked out?
Yeah, at some point I thought something like that. I thought, why is not Barcelona playing this game? It could have been a lot more joyful, to be honest.